Alright, today we are taking a look at one of my very, very favorite PlayStation games. And I've had this since it came out, and I still fire it up from time to time. And love to play through it. It's the style of game that I think of when I just think of video games in general. It's very arcadey, and it's just a good time. And it's one of those games that came out after the DualShock. It's one of the first, one of the earlier games that uses the DualShock controller very, very well. And for the most part, you just use the shoulder buttons and the two sticks. You can play it with the D-pad and buttons, but you're better off using a DualShock. And this is Apocalypse, starring Bruce motherfucking Willis. I like to think of this as the Bruce Willis simulator, and that this is what every day of his life is like. You know, running through the sewers with flamethrowers and tearing down the four horsemen of the apocalypse. That's very much what I imagine Bruce Willis's daily life to be like.
There was a time when science was my religion. Now religion has become my science and my sword. Only one man, my oldest student, now my sworn enemy, knows my plan and knows how I raised my horsemen from the dead. Death, plague, war, beast, my four horsemen of the apocalypse. Arise! The world must perish in our hands before we perish. Peace, death, tear the flesh from the heathen bones. Plague, devour them with pestilence. War, cast their corpses to the fire. Beast, turn their cities to ash. Go forth, my horsemen! Judgment day is at hand! Thus saith the Reverend.
Yeah, what happened with that fourth horseman there? What happened to Pestilence?
Wake up, convict! You're on!
Position 9982B, Kincaid Trey. You have persisted in the dangerous ways of the sciences in direct violation of the 12 recommendations of the Reverend. How would you plead?
I'm gonna stick my foot so far up your
Guilty! I sentence you to death. May the Lord have mercy on your soul. Amen.
Boy, you're gonna have some bad dreams tonight.
Nanotech in action. Welcome to paradise.
Okay, one of my favorite things about this game is the awesome cutscenes. The story in general is kind of cool. You're in a dystopian... You're in a dystopian, horrible future. And starring as Bruce Willis, you run around, and it's kind of a 360-degree shooter. So wherever you point the stick at, you shoot, and you run around. So if you like Smash TV or Berserk, this is right up your alley. And you get the added bonus of getting to listen to Bruce Willis deliver amazing one-liners, which is what Bruce Willis does best. And, the story is a lot of fun. Science is outlawed. And, religion and crap. And you got the four horsemen. Except for who the fuck's Beast? Where's Pestilence?
A little bit more lead in their tire.
And it's got a really cool soundtrack. There was this rock and roll lady that is one of the bosses later, And one of the levels takes place in a nightclub. And the lady that did the voice acting for her character had a record come out around this time, and it's a pretty good song.
Bring it on, baby! Lock and load!
Yeah, the lady, the group or whatever is called Poe, P-O-E. Look them up. You can hear her song on YouTube. I forget what it's called, but it's in this game and it's really good. It's usually not the kind of music I listen to, but I like it. But this is a very fast-paced game. You just run and gun, and it's a fucking blast the entire way through. I would probably still love this game if Bruce Willis weren't in it, but man, Bruce Willis is the shit.
Feel the burn, kid?
I think after you get done watching this video, you need to go watch all the Die Hard movies. I've never actually seen the newest one. The one that just came out a couple years ago. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm sure I will someday. But Die Hard and Die Hard 2, those are some good movies.
Hit the deck! Eat 'em up!
Yeah, I really love the weapons in this game. The flamethrower is ideal. It's like the perfect video game flamethrower. Just being able to whip around the right analog stick and set everyone on fire and hear them scream. It's amazing. And that, like, plasma beam that cuts them in half, I love it. You can also pick up rocket launchers, grenade launchers. You get kind of a grenade that kills all the enemies in your immediate area. And a classic weapon, the homing missile. Awesome. Every video game needs a homing missile.
Oh, you want some too?
I bet I'd feel good if I was Bruce Willis. Shit. Ooh, the Rip Laser, that's another good weapon. Looks cool. Purple lightning bolts. It's a very interesting floor plan to this prison. Your default machine gun never runs out of ammo, and it's a pretty decent weapon, especially in these beginning levels. And this is one of those games when cheat codes were still relevant. There aren't too many games where you put in cheat codes anymore, you know? Seems like today the only games that come out anymore are role-playing games and first-person shooters. The only current games that really use cheat codes that I can think of, like the Grand Theft Autos.
Can of whoop ass!
And even then, with Grand Theft Auto 4, you just put it into your cell phone, and I didn't like that. I liked the button codes.
Strap one on, it's time to jam!
But this is the kind of game where you can put in the infinite health or infinite lives cheats. And the game does get tough later on. So I could see where some people would need some cheat codes to see this game all the way through to the end.
Oh, you want some too?
I'd probably have a problem with how frequently those one-liners pop up if it was someone other than Bruce Willis. The only other celebrity in a game that I just fucking love to death is Bruce Campbell and his one-liners in the 3 Evil Dead games. Speaking of which, I need to get the Dreamcast version of Hail to the King, so I want to see what it looks like. I actually liked Hail to the King. A lot of people talk shit about it, but I actually stuck with that through to the end when I played that on PlayStation. It's probably because I love Evil Dead so much. I mean, how can you not love Evil Dead? But I've never beaten a Resident Evil game, so go figure. This right here is the first boss.
Strap one on, it's time to jam!
And it's a bunch of prison guards out in the courtyard, and there's a tank down at the end of the level. And it's kind of a crappy boss, but the bosses get significantly more interesting. And the main point of the game is you're tracking down the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse and some retard called Beast. And I don't know what the fuck's up with that guy. Beast. What the hell?
Kill them all, let God see. Strap one on, it's time to jam! Suck on this! That is entertaining.
Well, I guess that was a mini-boss, huh? Oh, maybe not. I guess that counts as a boss. Shoot.
Over there, that little tube looks safe.
I really enjoy the cutscenes in this game. Way more than I should.
Oh! Now you met.
Every good video game needs a trip to the sewers.
Wham, bam, thank you, man.
I think that's the first thing they teach you in game design school. Have a sewer level. And listening to this, the sound effects through my headphones, it really sounded like I was in a dank tunnel.
No, we can't.
So I'm definitely giving this game a huge, enthusiastic Mondo cool. I love this game.
Can't you pull the trick any faster?
There's not a lot of PlayStation 1 games that I go back to regularly, but this is definitely one of them. I'm a huge fan of this game and always have been. I'm playing this again a few months ago when I recorded this. Man, I just had a freaking blast.
Feel the burn, kid?
controls in this game are perfect. Like I said, it's basically a 360-degree shooter. But, you know, you move. There's little platforming elements. That's awesome. I love the jumping around and blowing crap up. These little sewer mutants. There's nothing more enjoyable than setting a sewer mutant on fire. The graphics, I think, are still pretty damn good. I don't have a problem telling what stuff is. The fire looks like fire. Bruce Willis looks like Bruce Willis. The sound's amazing. You know, the sound's amazing because you get to hear Bruce Willis. There's not much better than that. I also like the art style, you know, just the way the game looks with that dystopian shithole future vibe. We'll see what I'm talking about when we make it up to the street level a little bit later. Man, watching those mutants blow up, it just does something for me. I like exaggerated violence. There's nothing quite as awesome as cartoon super ultra violence. Yeah, I learned my lesson from the last time. Goddamn rocks.
These guys need a little bit more lead in their diet.
I guess besides this and Evil Dead Hail to the King, the only other PlayStation 1 game I remember that was heavily advertised because of the celebrity voice actor is Blasto with Phil Hartman. That game's worth playing just to hear Phil Hartman. Originally, when this game was announced, Bruce Willis was going to have a much smaller role in the game. But after some crap happened behind the scenes and some shuffling around, they put the spotlight a hell of a lot more on Bruce Willis being in the game. Hold me. And you've got pretty good control. Besides just jumping, you can also duck, which, you know, you don't really need to, but sometimes it looks cool to duck and just
That last step's a doozy.
just unload your machine gun.
Ooh, that's got it. Down, down, down. Hit the deck. Lock and load.
The giant rat is a pretty common enemy in most video games, and like in most video games, I believe giant rats all deserve to die.
Ooh, that's something.
I see nothing wrong with giant rat genocide. Or mutant hillbilly sewer monster, so that's just me. I probably need to attend some sort of sensitivity camp.
Can't you pull the trigger any faster?
You do get extra lives as you go.
Move it! Move it! Move it!
I've never had, and you do get continues. I've never had a hard time getting, you know, well into this game. But if you feel like it, there are those cheat codes, and you can put on infinite lives or invincibility if that's your kind of thing. I don't see anything wrong with infinite lives or infinite continues. But that's really a personal choice. I wonder about the future's plumbing, if there's all this fire in the sewer. It looks like it'd be treacherous to be a plumber in the future. You know, the random fire spouts.
Oh, shit.
I guess the giant rats and mutant hillbillies would be a problem, too.
Suck on this!
And naturally, the boss in the sewer level's got to be a giant crocodile. Some retarded 8-year-old probably flushed.
Suck on this!
Yeah, that alligator crocodile thing went down pretty easy. But this video's wrapping up. So overall, I give this game a one hell of an enthusiastic mondo cool. If you liked what you saw, the gameplay is easy to control, it's easy to pick up and play. The camera, you know, is exactly where it needs to be at all times. And it's an excellent dual stick shooter.
Alright, getting close to my old place. Hopefully the stash in my lab is still golden. This looks like the right spot. Nice polygon.
In other news, the renegade scientist broke out of the Paradise Island maximum.
So definitely pick this one up if you see it. It's a very fun game. As always, I got more videos, games, and reviews on the way.
Okay, plan B. Run for it.
For his swift capture.